Okay, and here we are back again. If my voice sounds a little different, it's because I've actually set up a mic here. Um, so in hopes that I could get a little better idea of what's happening in the mix. And when I say a little better, I mean a little better. I'm using the headphones, my better headphones that I would use to do some mixing on. I wouldn't want to do my final mix necessarily on these because not just the whole headphone thing I talked about earlier, but I went ahead and recorded a harmony part for the vocal, which is right here, and I guess I'll play that for you quickly.
Come on, don't be afraid now. Come on, don't be afraid. You're what I like. You're what I like. You're what I like. You're what I like.
That's all it is. I adjusted the level there. It seemed a little hot in these headphones. And I wanted to try, just for the heck of it, see, I got my mic on this channel now that I'm using for my voiceover. Not sure how great it's going to sound. I'm using an SM57, which, see, I just turned my head there. You hear the difference? I do. Just turning my head towards the mic made a huge difference. Now watch, here's back where I was. This is like at a, what would that be, a 90-degree angle? And that's the reason something like that, I hope you can hear that mic placement can be so critical in getting a sound. I mean, if you can hear the variation, I'm slowly turning my head now back to a 90-degree angle. There it is. Now I'm back. Listen how much more, to my ear, that sounds muffled, kind of low end, not a lot of mid-range or even high end, really. And yet as I turn back to the mic, and now I'm facing the mic again, so much brighter. Just a quick aside there, and I'm sorry, I would like to have it to where it's pointing directly at my mouth like this, but I literally can't. I would have to have my head turned sideways to my monitor, and that just isn't going to work. But I was hoping to get a better, mostly honestly, a better listening experience in the headphones, because I thought, well, maybe I can do some actual mixing here, a little bit anyway. And I didn't feel comfortable doing that in those other headphones. And I thought there would be more content that I could share if I could do that. So anyway, let's see what happens here. I'm going to add another track here. And turn off input. Even record for this. I showed you this process before, so I won't belabor you with showing that again. Here's the new track I created. Showed up down here. And I'm actually just going to move this. Track, the new one that I created, up to here with our vocals, and I'm going to assign the vocal color to it. Because what I wanted to try was this earlier when we copied the last chorus and tried adding that as a kind of backing track. I'm going to try and bring that down here and see what that sounds like mixed in here. Who knows? Let's bring up the waveform size a little. I believe that's in the right spot. Let's see. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's see what this would sound like added in. Let's add all our little things here. Our channel strip there. And I don't have any compression yet, I don't think, on these other tracks. But let's see, let's add our EQ moves that we've already done. High pass filter at 100 Hertz. 3 dB cut at 5K. And I don't know if I need to do compression on these backing vocals. Let's see what that sounds like. Let's see, I'm going to bring the level of this down. And again, I apologize if this mic's somewhat inconsistent here that I'm using, but I'm going to bring this down close to where the other one is. I'm just going to eyeball it for now. Close to where the other backing vocal fader is. Let's see what that sounds like.
You're You're what I like. You're what I like. You're what I like. You're what I like.
I think I like that actually. To my ear right now, it sounds like it thickened it a little bit somehow. Maybe just made it I mean, obviously it's going to make it a little bit louder, and that's maybe the biggest part of it, but I think I like it.
You're what I like. You're what I like. You're what I like. You're what I like.
All right. Sounding good. So, let me see. Exactly does that start? Is it right there? Oops, I forgot to do something here. I want to trim this. And that's where it's starting there. So I'm just going to copy and paste these over now to the other spots. Check them real quick to make sure they're lined up.
Come on, don't be afraid now. Come on, don't be afraid.
Yeah, that's working. And back to here. Oh, this one's slightly different in that I'm going to copy, whoops. Because we have the double chorus at the end there, I had to make another copy of just the chorus part and drag it over there. Let's check that everything's lining up here.
Come on, don't be afraid now. Come on, don't be afraid. You're what I like. 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 You're what I like.
Yeah, that's all lined up. I'm just gonna put the names of these tracks in now. Tracks. That's backing vocal 1. Backing vocal 2. There we go. And this is lead vocal. The air conditioner's back on if you heard it come on. Okay, so now we need to think about what else we want to do here. And I'm thinking some kind of solo section for the middle 8. Or you want to call it the bridge, this middle section here. So let's see, where does it actually start? This is, I guess, right here. You know, one thing I thought of that I noticed, I guess when I was listening back to the vocal, is there's no, right now, we don't really have anything coming back into the verse here out of the middle section on the drums. It's the same thing here, like these 4 blocks. And listen here, there's, in this transition between these two parts. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, it sounds pretty good. But I'm just thinking that maybe some kind of drum fill there would be nice to segue between those two parts. So let's see what we can do here. You've seen this before, right? Look at our beats over here. And, you know, we don't have to, we've been using this punk rock pack for a lot of these beats. And were we? I guess we weren't. We got American rock over here. Let's see. I thought I used punk rock on some of these. Yeah, I did. There's one there, that little fill. And some of these other parts are the punk rock, yeah, you see. But all I was going to say was, you don't have to use that necessarily. You can use anything in terms of these different packs here. So, or I could write it in myself, but let me see. What do we got here? American Rock fill 2. What's this one? Maybe. I like that one. Tom's in it. Let's see if we can get that one in here. Now, a lot of these fills, if you'll notice, have those clicks, those stick clicks. Let's solo that. I think that's just because they're trying to get them to fit here better. Whoops, I accidentally, when I soloed that, I think you probably lost audio. What I was saying is, they have these fills a lot of these fills start with these stick clicks, and I think you could hear that. Those two little clicks, and I think it's just so it makes it easier to place them. You have a one when you have those, so I usually get rid of them. So I'm going to bring that back. That took out the two stick clicks there, and then I'm just going to extend the part before it a little bit, and hopefully that'll segue nicely. Let's hear that. Yeah, the only thing I'm hearing is I think I want to bring this part up a little bit, and sometimes that's just a matter of the different parts within this program sometimes have been recorded at different velocities, or it could just be that that I just want it to be louder. As simple as that. It could be a very same or similar velocity, but I just want to hear it a little louder. So let's see where we're at. If we do that, all the notes will be highlighted here. And actually, yeah, most of this, it's kind of strange in a way. One note is really loud, that note, but then some of these other ones, as you can see, these are their velocities or their volumes are pretty low. So one thing you can do in a case like this is to grab a lower note. Now see, because I clicked on that and this area is highlighted, that's our whole drum fill. All those notes are represented here as these darker notes. So this is all these darker notes are the velocities of our fill. And because I can't really bring it up unless I brought each note up individually by itself, because this one's so close to almost being max volume. So what I can do is grab a lower note, like say this one here. Watch what happens when I bring this up, because being that they're all dark and they're all selected, it's going to affect all of them. So if I drag this up, see what's happening here? Everything's coming up, and it all got a little closer in terms of the differences in the velocities, because the ones that were louder went as far as they could go and stopped, but the lower ones kept coming up. So now they're all a little bit closer in velocity, and let's see what that sounds like. And they're louder too. The ones that were they're all louder technically. Yeah, that sounds better. That fill cuts through a little bit of that. Yeah, I like that. That's kind of a shortcut way of dealing with that, rather than going in and bringing up the velocity of each note, just by the nature of how this works. And I left some variations in there again, because I could have made them all the same velocity or the same volume, but they just seem to sound a little more natural this way if there's some variation. A little less like a machine gun or a drum machine or a robot. Okay, so we got that done. There's that fill there. We'll go back to our console view. And trying to see here. We're up to 11 tracks now. Again, this 12th track is just my voiceover. That's not even going to stay in there, obviously, but we're up to 11 tracks now. And I think we said we had technically 9 drum tracks, so what would that be? Almost 20 tracks. Because without that track, you've got 10 tracks. And then if you add the 9 tracks that are technically on this track, yeah, so you got 19 tracks. I was thinking about a guitar solo here. I'm feeling a little self-conscious because I've never done this kind of like recorded my recording, you know, recorded my session. But let's see what we got here. I've got my lead guitar track. In fact, let's label it. Got that already set up there. Let me just listen to this section and see what ideas it sparks in me here. Obviously, you know, pretty open-ended. I mean, that's how I see it anyway. A lot of things that can be done. And one reason for that is, well, I don't want to overstate that, but this section here in particular, I think because of what's being played there. Now, there is that chord that it goes to. That little the little change in there is going to some extent dictate what I can play, because that's going to some kind of flat 5. Yeah, I think it's just maybe like a flat 5. Basically, it goes to there. So that's going to somewhat limit my note choice, I guess you could say there. But what is this part here? So, you know, I'm thinking about where do I want to start? Do I want to start at this part? Or do I want to just let that... My inclination is almost just to let that part be as it is and to start when it starts doing this. So, let me grab my guitar here. And now I'm going to tune the guitar. All right. Plug in here. And now that I've got that, I can come over here and fiddle around trying to find a guitar sound, basically. So I've got to switch this back over to guitar. There it is. Guitar sound. And being this is a Strat. Oh, I just realized. This is tricky. When I switch over to my guitar here, I lose my mic. So I hadn't thought of that. I guess what I'll do, I mean, I could try to, change things around here, but I guess, let me think for a second. I could in theory go back to my headset. Nah. I think what I'll do here, and I apologize, I don't have a better way of doing this, but I think what I'll do is I'll just cut out the mic for now. And what you're going to see me do largely is find a sound that I like. I'm going to go through this these presets here. It's got 2 banks of presets, user and factory. I'll go through those. In fact, generally. I didn't mean to do that. That put an effect on the mic. That's kind of crazy. But what I was trying to say there is I'll go through these, looking for a sound, and then I'm just going to start experimenting with what I can play over this. I have a basic idea, but I have to see that flat 5 in there is going to, like I said, going to dictate to some extent my note choice. But one other thing I wanted to show here is just the idea of take lanes, and that's this right here. If you click on that button, it opens up what's called the take lanes. And what I can do is, like, let's see, where is this entire section? It goes from there to there. I can make a loop of that, highlighted that area and made a loop. And now, let's see, how does that work? I'm trying to remember exactly here. I think if I stay in this mode and I have a loop on it, I think it keeps adding take lanes. Another way to do it, it will keep automatically, as it loops back around, it'll add what these take lanes are, like what was previously called virtual tracks on the old standalone unit digital recorders, where you have just multiple tracks basically on a single track. So what it will do here is, I believe this, I don't usually use this mode, but if I have the loop feature on there, I think what happens is, as it gets to the end and comes back to the beginning, it just goes to a different take lane. So it'll keep adding take lanes as long as I keep playing. So I mean, I could do, what I realistically probably do is like 3 takes. I could do 20 takes. I could do 100 takes. It'd be ridiculous. I'd have 100 different. For me, in my opinion, it would be ridiculous. I know some people do that, and that's fine. It's just, to me, it seems a little silly. But then again, no. I mean, I could see doing that. I could see doing 100 takes. Why not? And then I'd like to show you some of how you can then edit those takes. What you can do is, let's just, like I said, I'll probably do like three passes. Then what you can do is you'll have those 3 take lanes here, 3 basic, 3 runs you've taken at this guitar solo, and you can then listen to them back and cut and paste them together if you want to. Like, say you have, a section, the first section of the first take you like, but you like the middle section of the second take and the last section of the third take. You can cut and paste them all together here so that you have one take that's composited, basically, of those 3 different ones. So, I hope this doesn't get too boring with me turning off the mic, but I basically describe what I'm going to be doing here, and I'm going to try to be quick about it. I'm going to try to just get it done, basically. So here we go. One other thing I wanted to add before I do this is a Stratocaster with single coil pickups, and in some of the pickup positions you're going to hear some noise. Even when I'm not playing anything, you're going to hear like some electronic buzzing, and I can usually edit that out, or just sometimes if I turn away from my monitor, it's not as bad, or I can choose a different pickup that doesn't have as much noise. But if you're hearing some noise, that's what that is. wanted to check back in here quickly. I basically, I'm trying to go about this quickly. I mean, normally I would take a little more time, probably play with a few different sounds and even just noodle a little more. But for the sake of this video and whatnot, I'm going to take this pretty quickly. So, yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say basically. And here we go. Try this and see how it works. Okay, I had a little panic moment there where I wasn't sure that it was actually doing the take lanes, but once I stopped, I saw that it was. So basically, I didn't have to stop there. But another way to do this is just to add the take lanes manually. You can come over here on this little plus button and just click on that. It starts adding them, and then you can just click on the record of that take lane, and you're on that take lane. So I've got a little segment there on that second one that I did. I guess I'll leave that for now. I don't even know if that's going to be viable. But you can see as it's starting to populate these take lanes. Here's the first one. And I'll go into more detail of that later. I'm just going to make a couple more passes here. Try not to panic this time. Okay, realized too that I had turned down my mic there at some point, but try to get it back to a decent level here. That's actually probably better, a little bit hotter than I had it before. Probably sounds a little better. Okay, something slightly strange happened there, but I wasn't quite expecting. Let me see. I can see if I can figure it out. It didn't. It seemed like on the last pass it didn't add a take lane, so it started recording over the one I did. There's the first one. Boy, in fact, it might have even done that a couple times here. Yeah, I think it might have. Let's put that one there. Let's just move this one slightly. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so what I have to do here is I have to bam, bam, I believe, and shucks, this is a little bit tricky. That one there, that one there. No, I say I could have left that one. It was just one extra, I believe. Yeah, because I said I was going to do 3, and I had that one that was kind of a false start there. But the only thing is, it looks like it might have tried. Okay, there it is. That brings it back. Now, if I can get rid of this, this is, I don't know, I could get into the details of what I'm doing here, but I think I'm just going to try and deal with it here and not. There we go. I think that brought them back to how they were. So what we ended up, a little bit of a mess there, but what we end up with here is kind of like 3 1/3 takes. This one, I don't know if I'm even going to use any of this one. In fact, there might be some dead air there, but that was the one where I had to stop. Where I panicked. I thought it wasn't adding the take lanes. It wasn't visually, but it was. Once I stopped it, they popped up there. So what we can do here now is, these are a little out of order, I see, but this is the first one I did. And if I do this, you see how the cursor changed there? There's what's called the I-beam cursor. I don't know if you can see that fine in detail, but when I moved it down here, boom, right there, it became something else. If I left click and drag across this, now it's playing. That's the first take I did. So now it's playing that. So we can just listen back to that by itself. Here's the first pass I did. Okay, somehow it's adding something else here. So that tells me, yeah, there's another one under there. So I do, whoa, what happened? Let me see. This has got a little bit tricky here. Let me see. No. Okay, no, that's not the case, but then why is it, I'm hearing 2 things there. Let's see. Oh, you know what might have happened? Aha, yeah. It recorded it onto this other track. I had this track is armed to record, I forgot, because, you know what? I might not even need that arm. Let me see. No, I don't. That's my my live mic, and it was recording onto that track too. Okay, we got rid of that. So let's hear this. Let's get rid of this. Take we don't need. Actually, let's put this back on that one and get rid of this. Okay. So here's the first pass. Not too bad. I like that. It may not be the most exciting necessarily, but there's a smooth kind of melodic thing going on there, I guess. Let's hear the second one. So now I'm going to take this changed cursor and drag it across. Well, technically, I don't know if this is the second one. It doesn't matter. It's just a different one. Each one of these 1, 2, 3, 4 lanes here are different takes. The numbers got screwed up because of some of my stopping and starting there, I think. But anyway, we'll call this one number 2. In fact, can we change this? I don't know. I've never done this. Looks like we can't. There we go. Makes more logical sense. Doesn't matter what order they were played in necessarily. But now we've got take one, take two, take three, take four. So let's listen to take two. Little mistake there. I like that one too, though. Whoa, what just happened there? Oh, I hit the wrong button. I like that one. There was a mistake. However, because it was repeating, I mean, I could go back and play it over, obviously, but because it was just repeating the first little motif there, line, whatever you want to call it, I could just copy and paste the first line over. Listen, you'll hear it. Right there. All right, let's listen to the next one. Okay, see something kind of kooky happened here. Let me see if I can fix this. Oops, no. I want to do that. No, I want to do that. Can I delete that? Let's see what this is. Oh, same thing again. Alright, now if I bring that back, I think that should... particularly like the beginning of that one, but it had a couple moments in there. And now let's hear this little part, which I don't even know if there's any actual audio on, but we'll see. Let's see. That was kind of actually interesting. Too bad I had to stop there. I mean, I could always... Here's the thing, like I said, we can composite these takes together any way we want. And you're actually seeing kind of a... Let me take my guitar off here. You're actually seeing kind of an idea of how that's done here right now, in that you can see how part of this track here isn't grayed out like these other ones, and this one isn't grayed out. So what we're seeing up here, which is the actual track lane, if you will, these are kind of like the virtual tracks, but this is the actual lane. What we're seeing up here is a composite of these two that aren't grayed out. If you'll notice, this section here is this, and this section here is this. So it's not the best example because there's a gap there. Normally you wouldn't want a gap there. But it's now the actual, if we play this through, it's going to play those two tracks as if they were one with a little gap. Listen. So I don't know if I'm making that clear enough, but the first part, it's playing this section of this take, which we call take 4, and then after that little pause there, it's playing this section of what we call take 3. So they're kind of and you can composite these together any way you want. You can even move them around, like put the beginning of this one at the end, or the middle section of this one at the beginning. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen back to them again and try to decide which parts of each section I like, or even if I like, one take seems to be the best in and of itself. So let's start again here. Okay, so I already have an idea. I want to listen to that again, the whole thing, but I'm already getting an idea of something I might do here. All right, let's do this one. Okay, here's the idea I have. I like the beginning of this one, actually. Although the first note's a little bit fudged. Comes in just a hair late, maybe, but... So here's what I'm going to do, watch. I'm going to highlight this one, because I like some parts in this one too. And I'm going to highlight just the section of this that I want to use, which is right up to there. So now it begins with this one, which isn't grayed out like the one below it or any of these others over here. And then it goes into this one. But I want to see if there's any part of this one or this one that maybe I like better than that. But let's listen to what we got so far. We now have the beginning of this take lane, and then the whole rest of it is this take lane. Alright, I want to listen to this now. See if anything here really jumps out at me. Just that part though. Well, I know this part. I don't want to use this first section. It has that mistake in it. So let's see if we take this section of this one and put it there. I actually kind of like the rest of that. So let's see what that sounds like now. This part can be a little tedious. I'm actually pretty much liking that. Let's just see if there's anything here that I feel like I have to have. This other take 3. parts I like in there. There's this little melodic thing that happens. Let me see if I can find it. Right there. I also like that little run right after it, although technically speaking, there's a little, maybe a slop note in there, or just a little stutter. But I like that melodic. I don't know if it's worth. In that part. So, that gets a little tricky here. One thing I could do here. Whoops, not that. No, that wants to. Let's see, that wants to get rid of all of those. Can I move this one by itself? Yeah. Over here. Let's see if I can do this. It might be a little tricky. Move that back to there. Let me hear what we've got here. Nope, somehow that's the doesn't do what I want it to do. Hold on. Wow. I'm not sure what's going on here. There we go. Okay. I think I see what happened. Now, so for some reason that's jumping up when I do that. Some unexpected behavior is happening here. Why is it doing that? Alright. Let me just bring it back in. So, I think I said I wanted this beginning. Boy, I'm not sure now. I think I said I wanted that beginning. And then this maybe? And then this. I think that's how I had it. Let's listen to that. You know what? I'm just going to go with that. I could sit here and fiddle with it. As you can see, I'm having a little trouble getting what I want, and I could figure it out. Whatever's I'm doing wrong here, but you know, it's at this point it's becoming like I just want a little section of this here, and maybe a little section of this here, and then I got to somehow take those two little sections and move them to the end, and that's a little more than I want to do right now. So watch now. If I collapse these lanes here, the take lanes, bam, we're left with the composite, just the one lane and the composite that we just made. So there it is. Listen to it one more time. I'll tell you what, I am inclined to want to try and fix that net. Let me see if I can. See how it comes in a little late there? There's a couple things I could do here. Let me see if I can get this to work. If I make another take lane, maybe. I'm trying to think of how to do this. Let me see what this does. No, that wasn't what I wanted. What this? So what my ass does this do? No. Well, you can try to get fancy schmancy here. Let's see. We'll try this. I haven't shown this particular function yet, so I don't know if it'll work in this case, but we'll see. Let's see what happens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from clips to audio transients. Now you see it put these little markers in there. What I need to do, I don't remember exactly how to do it. I think maybe it's Alt. Yeah, I had to add one. I wanted to add one to the beginning here. Now what this allows you to do is literally to move the audio. And the fact that this note is coming in a little late, as you can see here, that's actually a fairly significant, I don't know if that's a 16th note, the duration of a 16th note, but we're in 16th note resolution, and I think that's what it is, because I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But what it does is I can grab onto this thing here and literally just, whoops, oh, it's not letting me do it. Sometimes this is the case. I don't know if it's not back far enough. Let me increase the resolution here. That might be it. It might be that it just isn't back far enough. If I can get the line here, the now time, to land right on the end of the beginning of this, it's just somehow hard to do. Let's see. Boy, I know that I want to go a higher resolution than that, but let's see if I just add one here. Okay, now I'm going to try and delete that one. And see, well, let me pull this one. Huh, strangely, it won't. Huh, okay. I'm not sure why that is. I have my limitations on this thing, as I said. I know what I know about it, and like, I'm sure I could move this one, watch. See? And it's dragging the audio around, but I don't want to do that. What I want to do is try to pull this so it's coming to the beginning there. I could try another move here, though. Try this one more time. No, it's just not letting me. For some reason, it won't let me do that one. Okay, so I'm going to delete that one too. I'm going to try this. Let me see something here. Alright. This is a little bit tricky, but I'm going to turn off our note resolution there. In fact, let me see something here. If I turn this off, am I able to move it? Nope. It just doesn't want to move. Okay, fine. Let's get rid of that. And I think back to clips. Let's see if this works. This is where you sometimes draw a fine line between, you know, would it have been easier just to play this again? Probably. Possibly, at least. Even if it was just this one little segment, I could have played again. So should I play it again? Or can I, can I tweak it here to get it how I want it? Now, see, they put in a crossfade there, and I don't want that. So let me undo that. I think it's because of how I moved it. Try a slightly smaller section. Whoops. Oh, let's see what this sounds like. Yep, that more or less, it's still not completely butted up to the end, but what's that? I think it's close enough. What I did is I just took it, because that's just a single note that was held out there, but it didn't start soon enough, I just literally copied and pasted part of that to the front. So it just kind of made the note longer. Because it was just a note, it was just a single sustained note. So I was able to just take a section of it, and copy and paste it before it started, and now it just more or less sounds like one note. Listen. And it's closer to starting right on the one now. It doesn't have to be perfect, but let's see if we start it back here, how it transition sounds. More time. I'm not sure what's happening there, but something about that doesn't sound natural to me. It sounds like there's a fade or something there that maybe shouldn't be there. Let me see. Could it be that it's just late? Almost as if it just doesn't have any attack. Well, trying to fix it in the mix, but that's not necessarily always the best way to do it. So here's another option. Dun, dun, dun. We add another take lane. Somehow it's take lane 6 instead of take lane 5, but that's fine. I'll just play the darn thing again. Alright? On it. I think it's just, I think that's what I did there. Okay, the mic is going off again for a second. Okay, I had a little false start there, but let's see. I think that did what I wanted it to. Let me see. What do we got here? Yeah, it's just a little too long. Let's see. I think maybe starts here. Let's see if that's it. No. Should be before that. Let me play. Hold on, I'm a little confused. Which one was it now? Is it this? Let me see. Strangely, that part's sounding okay to me. Let me hear this one more time. Huh. Well, if it's sounding alright, it's sounding alright. I don't know what got changed exactly there, but we don't need this run up. Maybe it's, oh, I see. See, something as small as this, if you can see this, when I zoom in, it just added this little part right here, which is just, again, I was talking about this earlier, just that tiny little, probably impact of the pick on the string could have changed that whole thing, because that's what I was missing there. There was no like kind of attack at the beginning. So let's see. Yeah, that seems to have fixed it. It just added that tiny little part. Yep, I think that did it. I'm going to save because there's actually, let's see here. It's actually kind of a lot of work done there, so let's save that. And let me hear it one more time. I want to hear it, in fact, without the loop on, so I can hear it transitioning out of that too. Yeah, I like that. Sounds pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's see. So, now we've got our guitar solo too. That's cool. And let's see. I think at this point I'm going to stop again, and it's going to take me some probably listening back to this a few times. Just try to get some ideas as if I want to add anything else. I mean, this, technically speaking, this could be a finished song by me, you know? I don't necessarily have to go any further than this. And again, it's not a huge track count. It's like 20 tracks roughly, if you count the individual drum tracks that aren't being shown at the moment. You know, a 20-track song. I don't know. I'm one guy, basically doing all these parts myself, and I don't know. It is what it is. I should shrink this back down. You see everything we've got there now with our vocal tracks and keyboard, that little intro tag thing, our lead track, bass track, 2 guitars and our drum track. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now, I think, and I'm going to think about it a little bit. See what I can come up with. Okay, thanks for watching and listening. I appreciate it.